For all you good old boys out there that like watching a car buzz around for hours on end, say a 1977 Pontiac Trans Am, this movie is for you. For all those sick and tired of convoluted plots and settings, wanting something simple that goes from point A to point B, say Texarkana to Atlanta, this movie is for you. And for all those real men and ladies that love the cool, refreshing taste of Coors Lager, this movie is definitely for you. It's Smokey and the Bandit. It's the movie that intertwined cowboy hats, T-top convertibles, and 70s porn star mustaches. So, grab your favorite generic lager, one that tastes like all the rest of them, and join me for another movie review from the Great White North. The movies might be good or bad, but at least the reviews will be beauty. Smokey and the Bandit is a 1977 American road comedy starring Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed, Jackie Gleason, and Sally Field. The film follows Bo Bandit Darville, played by Reynolds, and Cletus Snowman Snow, played by Reed, two good old boys and bootleggers tasked with illegally transporting 400 cases of sweet, sweet Coors beer from Texarkana to Atlanta. Jackie Gleason plays Buford T. Justice.
Sheriff Buford T. Justice. Sheriff Buford T. Justice. Buford T. Justice. The Sheriff Buford T. Justice of Texas.
The Texas County Sheriff in hot pursuit of these good old boys. And last but not least, we have Sally Field in this one. She plays a woman.
Well, ass was wiggling too.
The film is written and directed by Hal Needham, one of Hollywood's top stuntmen from the 1960s. Knowing this, it's understandable why the movie is the way it is. In other words, it has little to no substance, with the exception of the 3 C's. Coors, cars, car chases. Now, we can admire and swoon over the old lip tickler on Burt Reynolds' face for a whole 10 minutes, but by golly, this is a review show of substance, and I'm gonna keep it that way. So for now, we'll stick to the 3 C's, and we'll start off with my favorite, Coors. Now, when I first started watching this film, I immediately thought to myself, Jesus, somebody got a big payday from Coors. In the first 15 minutes alone, Coors is referred to non-stop, and obnoxiously so.
400 cases of Coors.
Coors beer. Coors beer.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
I get it, movie. Pick myself up a case of Coors. Enjoy responsibly. I totally get it. However, after watching the movie and doing a little research of my own, I realized that the selection of Coors was less about selling out and more about the beer itself. Firstly, Coors was unavailable for sale east of Oklahoma back in 1977. Alright, that checks out. Secondly, people had massive erections for Coors Banquet beer due to the lack of additives and preservatives. It was even reported that Presidents Eisenhower and Ford had a steady stream of these sweet, sweet suds airlifted directly to Washington, D.C. So, what's the problem? Apparently it's the lack of these additives and preservatives that increases the chances of the old Coors going bad if it isn't transported, stored properly. So, in the context of the film, it makes a whole lot of sense. The good old boy's gotta transport the Coors in 28 hours or less, or it's gonna go bad.
Let's all ask. Okay.
Now, on to cars. More specifically, car. Who can forget that 1977 Pontiac Trans Am Firebird? She was a thing of beauty. It's the kind of car that makes you want to crank up the dad rock, roll down the windows and say, "All right, all right, all right."
Oh, Christ. How you doing?
Now, in the context of this movie, the Trans Am is the fastest car known to man, not to mention an absolute tank. After each jump, I caught myself saying, "Ooh, that car is fucked up." And you know what? I was right. Of the 4 Trans Ams provided in this film, 3 were essentially destroyed, becoming parts donors to keep the final car running to the end of production. So, what's the lesson here? If you have a cool car, drive it like a grandma. It'll last longer. And now we're on to our final C, car chases. Now, this is the majority of our film. It's nothing like seeing fun-loving criminals evade the law and making some police officers look like some real silly billies. Well, it helps that our criminal protagonists are smuggling beer and not heroin or sex workers. Otherwise, I'd be siding with our boys in blue. I'll admit, I really enjoyed 2 components of these car chases. One, all the help that Bandit would get from his trucker buddies and all their wacky call signs.
My handle's Silver-Tongued Devil.
This here's the grave robber.
This is the Good Witch of the North. This is Foxy Lady.
This is Mr. B, and I'm gear jamming this rolling refinery.
Hey, Bandit! This is Little Beaver!
And 2, all that awesome CB radio talk.
There was a Texas bubblegum machine on your back door.
What's a Texas County Mountie doing in Arkansas?
I just passed another Kodiak with a Kodak.
I'm still trying to get rid of that Texas County Mountie.
Hoss you ain't gonna believe is, but that crazy somebody's just trying to drive right up under my truck.
I read you loud and clear, 10-4.
You got the one snowman, I'm eastbound and down.
As far as acting goes, Burt Reynolds plays the cool, smooth-talking, wise-cracking trucker, bold bandit Darville pretty perfectly. There's little reason why this movie is so iconic and etched into the minds of anyone that grew up in the late 70s or early 80s. I think Jackie Gleason's character of Buford T. Justice is pretty fantastic, but I also think it's ripped off from another character, J.W. Peppa, from the James Bond franchise.
Sheriff J.W. Pepper, Louisiana State Police.
In their respective films, both men are involved in multi-jurisdictional police matters.
I lost that Trans Am. Set up a roadblock.
All right, out of the way, I'm in charge here. You 2 boys, come on.
And both are involved in high-speed pursuits.
We're gaining on them.
You're chasing somebody. Who you after this time, boy? Tommy? Let's go get him. I'm with you all the way.
Both gentlemen like to use the word boy.
Can you hear me, boy?
You picked the wrong parish to haul ass through, boy.
And both like to drive mangled vehicles. Is this a coincidence? I think not. Now, some movies are a little bit more intellectual than others, requiring your full, undivided attention for 2.5 hours, which can be laborious and, to be quite honest, pretty boring. With Smokey and the Bandit, we're not solving the Da Vinci Code here. Actually, far from it. The movie just puts you in a Trans Am, in cruise control for 96 minutes. So just sit back and relax, baby. I mean, sure, I can admit that the movie lacks substance when it comes to plot, but we get some pretty good characters and some pretty excellent car chases. And for those reasons, I'm giving Smokey and the Bandit a 6.7. And I know some good old boys out there are going to be pretty disappointed with that rating. But here's the thing. Sometimes she goes. And sometimes she don't. This time, she just didn't go. And moral of the story is, that's the way she goes. And that's the score. And that's the review.
Is a complete lack of respect for the law.
For the good old American life. For the money, for the glory, and for the fun.